approaching Roscoe. We're hearing on the scanner that the suspect may have knives accessible to him in the car. It's unclear if they were his or if they belong to the rightful owner of the vehicle, but we are hearing that the reporting person, which is likely the owner of the vehicle, says that there are knives inside of the car. If they are in the rear portion, he's unlikely going to be able to reach those as he's driving, so we'll hope for that as his pursuit continues here southbound on the 405 freeway. Oh, thank you, Derek. My pilot, Derek Bell, is telling me that the traffic will get a lot slower as we continue here southbound and make your way over to the west side. He just cut that driver off, so that guy's not going to be happy, but fortunately he didn't manage to hit him, so that's if there's any good news here, it's that he doesn't appear to have hit any other vehicle so far. He did, of course, assault a police officer with that vehicle at some point, so we believe he did use the vehicle in the course of that assault, and of course the car is stolen as well. Traffic is slowing down significantly, moving over to that first lane from the left. We're at Sherman Way. Basically at a complete stop here for him. He's straddling a couple of the lanes there, straddling that first and second lane, trying to make his way over to that second lane. So let's see what he's doing here. From what we've seen, just watching his movements for the past 15 minutes or so, he does not like to be in slow traffic. So what he may do is move over to that emergency lane again and take that to get past some of this slower traffic. But again, that could be very dangerous because if there are any cars that are broken down, he hit a vehicle there. Okay, my pilot, Derek Bell, observed that he did hit a vehicle there. Hopefully there are no injuries to that party, but he did hit a vehicle there as he was trying to maneuver his way around some of this slower traffic. Yeah, we're hearing CHP maybe trying to get behind the vehicle now. Now that the car is on freeways, CHP would be better suited to follow him. When we first picked this up, it was on surface streets. It was in LAPD's mission division, so it was LAPD who was in pursuit. They backed off, of course, but we still have the LAPD helicopter overhead. And now, there you go, using that emergency lane. And we don't want to see this because if a car is broken down, I mean, this guy could just plow right into them and like right there, he ran out of room. So what's he going to have to do? He's going to have to merge back with the traffic, which it looks like that's what he's going to try to do. Yep, he's going to try to merge back with traffic. I mean, this guy stands out like a sore thumb. He's driving this huge vehicle, and then he's, using the emergency lane, cutting people off, hitting people. I mean, this guy is not being discreet by any means. CHP is now behind him. I'm hearing that from my pilot, Derek Bell, who's doing a great job at keeping us over the 405 freeway here at Van Owen. So you can see the CHP unit there at the top of your screen. We've got the suspect vehicle there in the center. CHP is being asked to take the lead. Guy continues to drive in the emergency lane. We've seen this guy back up into a patrol unit, so I don't know that the CHP officer is aware of that. So we would hope he would keep a little bit more distance, knowing what this guy is capable of, especially with a car that size, with a vehicle that size. It could cause quite a bit of damage. So hopefully that CHP officer can get notes from the LAPD department that was following him earlier and learn that this guy has actually tried to back up into a patrol unit. We know he's also wanted for assault on a peace officer, and as for assault on a peace officer, and CHP is aware of that, so of course they're going to be extra careful. Continuing here on the shoulder of the freeway, 405 South at Victory. Oh, look, there he's doing it. He's backing up, backing up. That's so dangerous because the sheer size of this vehicle could hurt anyone, and we definitely don't want him to hurt any law enforcement personnel. But we've seen him do it. We've seen him do it twice. Okay, so it seems like he may be coming to a stop here. The CHP officer has his driver door open. He's signaling to the driver to stop. He's telling him, stop moving your car, stop. We have some of the other units that are just arriving here on scene. Southbound 405 at Van Owen. And the driver continues to move his vehicle. So he's not necessarily following the commands of the CHP personnel. He's still on a roll. He's still not moving. We're keeping a wide shot here, of course, just in case something happens that we don't want to see. We did see him stick his hand out the window there. We thought he was hopefully going to toss the keys out. That's typically what CHP or any other law enforcement agency in pursuit will ask you to do at the end of a pursuit. They'll typically have you throw the keys out first and then step out of the vehicle. It seemed like that's what he was doing when he stuck his hands out, but apparently not. He's deciding that he wants to continue this pursuit here on the southbound 405. He's southbound 405 approaching Victory, so that's going to be just north of the Sepulveda Dam area, so he's in the Van Nuys area. Continuing here on the southbound 405, I'm going to pull out so you can see this is a slow area. This is just typical slowing. And we see that he's straddling the exit lane there, as well as the freeway. He may be looking to exit. If he does, this is going to be Victory Boulevard. This is going to put him just on the north side of the Sepulveda Dam recreational area. But it's unclear what this guy wants to do right now. He's still straddling that lane. CHP officers are getting into place in case he decides to give up. Ideally, they would probably not want this to end right here where there's so many people around the suspect vehicle. But, of course, they want this to end. So if this is where the guy decides that this is where he wants to end, then this is where it will end. CHP will try to get some of these other vehicles out of the way, out of crossfire, just in case something happens. But for now, this guy is straddling the exit lane there for Victory Boulevard on the southbound 405. Again, for those of you just joining us, this is a stolen vehicle suspect, Grand Theft Auto to be exact, and he also is wanted for assault on a peace officer. It's not exactly clear. Ooh, okay, there you go. He's deciding he wants to exit. He's going to exit at Victory. He's not going to continue southbound on that 405 freeway, so he's going to take the Victory Boulevard exit off the 405 south. He's just going with the flow of traffic here. It looks like he's setting up to go, that lane can go either left or right, and he's decided to go to the right. He's on Haskell now. Haskell is a north-south street that runs just parallel to the 405 freeway. It runs just on the west side of the 405. I'll pull out so you can see just what the proximity is with the freeway. CHP is now requesting that LAPD take over now that the pursuit is back on surface streets. He's getting awfully close to that other car there, so hopefully he doesn't hit him. But, oh gosh, this is going to be really close. I mean, you feel for these other drivers who are completely unsuspecting and don't realize what's going on. But they see the patrol unit, so that they know that this guy's wanted for something. Let's see if he tries to back up again like we've seen him do before. I'm going to pull out here so that we can get some of the police units in the picture as well. And, yep, sure enough, he's trying to back up again. He's reversing. Turns out he's talking to the other driver in that other white vehicle that's just to his left. Unclear what he's telling him, of course. CHP would like to back out of this since it's now on surface streets. They'd like to have LAPD, which was the initial division on initial police force on scene. They'd like to have them take over as this guy continues to reverse here on Haskell. He's awfully close to that car. It's unclear what he's trying to tell him. Like, hey, move over, buddy. It's really unclear. But we do know he's talking to that other driver. And the other driver says, I want nothing to do with this. I'm out of here. And now the suspect vehicle is going to continue northbound on Haskell. We hear that LAPD is again in tracking mode, which again means that the helicopter is going to continue to watch this pursuit, and there will be no LAPD units directly behind the vehicle. They're going to keep their distance. They'll be in the area in case this guy decides to give up. They can basically just swoop in and arrest him. But for now, just for the safety of the general public, for the safety of the law enforcement personnel, they're going to back off a little bit as he continues northbound on Haskell, just passing Van Owen.
8:19 in Southern California. We have some breaking news. Mark Kono and Sky 5 HD over yet another pursuit. This one moving pretty slowly through the Sepulveda Pass. Mark.
Yeah, you bet, Frank. Here, let's do this. This is a box truck, a moving van of sorts here. No confirmation of exactly where it came from here, but this all started out of LAPD's Mission Division, believed to be somewhere on Haskell, is where this pursuit started here. Now, from what I understand from the police sources above, is that this started out as some sort of a domestic dispute, turned into a stolen vehicle, the vehicle being that van that you are, that big truck that you see moving northbound here. Now, we are moving parallel to the 405 freeway northbound along Haskell, and we've just passed Van Owen Street. We're just coming up on, say, Bassett Street, Marlin Place, Hart Street, Vose, and Galt Street here, and the driver of this van, the stolen van, is doing some pretty erratic things here. Now you see him backing up along Haskell here. The LAPD is on scene and has been for the better part of about 15 to 20 minutes at this point. This pursuit was on surface streets for a time, and then it was southbound on the 405 freeway where he encountered traffic, and so there was enough traffic that he decided it best to get off the freeway so that he could try and further this pursuit here, but he got off on Victory and turned right on Haskell, and now northbound on Haskell, just past Van Owen, and now we're in more of a semi-residential area here. Okay, no worries. Northbound on Haskell here, and again, just parallel the 405 freeway over on the west side of it. The LAPD airship is above and has been for about 10 minutes at this point, but look at this guy driving into oncoming lanes of traffic. Oh my, okay, widen out the shot, widen out the shot. Look at this. Okay, good grief, look at that. My goodness, okay. Oh, he's going to follow that guy through. Okay, no, he's not. He's going to stay along Haskell here. You see what we're dealing with here. The LAPD is in trail of him for a time. The CHP was also in pursuit while this thing was on the 405 freeway. The LAPD apparently turning this over to the CHP, but now we're back on surface streets. The LAPD has retained control of this pursuit at this point here. Now, northbound on Haskell, you saw him in the opposing lanes of traffic. There are people who are seeing this truck come at them, and they're virtually just staying still, or they're trying to get out of the way. You saw just moments ago as he was in the oncoming lanes of traffic, it looked like he was going to go head on with a couple of those vehicles. They quickly reversed out of the way, and it looked for a time that he might follow them through the intersection and try and go westbound there. But now we're coming up on Sherman Way. We're going to be coming up on Sherman Way. Widen out the shot just a touch or tilt up. There we go. That's going to be the intersection of Sherman Way where we have cross traffic ahead. So let's see what he does. It looks like he's just going to make the approach to the intersection, stick his nose out, and see if he can get through here. But apparently he's forced himself to stop there. And we have cross traffic right on Sherman Way at Haskell here. Now, if he goes through the intersection, he is going to be staying on Haskell. But it looks like if he makes a left turn westbound, now he's got cross traffic ahead that is refusing to give up on this guy. And so, okay, made that westbound turn along Sherman Way, and now we're going to be westbound Sherman Way from Haskell. Very slow-moving pursuit, but there you go. Here's a peer. Here's a look into the driver window there as he makes his way westbound, and we are essentially moving over towards Van Nuys Airport, probably no more at about 20, 25 miles an hour here. So, again, a very slow-speed pursuit here. This van not able to reach too high speeds here, but, the danger, of course, being that this being a big, heavy vehicle, the possibility of him being able to ram, any of the other vehicles. And with that said, I do understand from the air unit above that on the freeway, he was actually along the right shoulder here and actually backed up into a couple of black and white units. And so the danger there, so he's got that stacked up against him as well here. Gotcha. So, here we go. This guy's facing kind of a multitude of charges at this point, including a probable Oh, my gosh. Okay, what's he going to do? He's going to go right through the intersection here. Assault with a deadly weapon here, guys. But at any rate, slow-moving westbound on Sherman Way, and we'll be coming up on Valjean here in about a quarter of a mile or so. But before that, we're going to be coming up on another major intersection here. This guy has plenty of time to work with here in that he is moving at such a slow speed. We do have LAPD units that are following him, giving him about a quarter to maybe half a block of space here. So we do have units that are in pursuit of him or who are basically trailing him. The LAPD airship right there through the center of the shot there. Great shot, guys.
Mark, if he continues on Sherman Way, you're talking about Van Nuys Airport there. The air traffic, I mean, that's a very busy municipal airport. Will you be able to continue to track this? What's going to happen there?
Well, let's see what happens here. We're already talking to the control tower here. There is traffic moving in and out of the airport here along the north runway, runway 34 left. But I can tell you that should he stay on Sherman Way actually crosses right underneath the main runways here at Van Nuys Airport. So if he crosses under Sherman Way, we should just be able to cross over the airport at that point. But, we're coming up on the intersection right now. Let's kind of see what he does here. But, we're talking about, my goodness, Sherman Way, and he's turning north. So he's essentially staying along the east side of the airport here, now turning northbound from Sherman Way.
What is that, Woodley?
It looked like a
spike strip.
Ah.
Yeah,
they just got him with a spike strip, so that is going to further disable the, oh, look at that. Okay, and there are trash bins in the back. Okay, so those trash bins in the back. You see those things moving around in the back of the truck there. But again, we're moving northbound from Sherman Way and just kind of making our way along what I believe to be Woodley Avenue here. Woodley Avenue northbound. And beyond Sherman Way, we'll be getting to another intersection here, and that should be about Saticoy. Yeah. So we're just kind of moving northbound here, and this guy refusing to give up. You saw him being spike stripped right there, so there is certainly the possibility that this truck could be disabled in the near future with potentially some flat tires here.
Yeah. If you're just joining us, this is a pursuit. We just joined it about 6 minutes ago in the San Fernando Valley, right near Van Nuys Airport. Began from the LAPD Mission district as a domestic dispute, became a stolen vehicle involving this truck, and now we've seen the spike strip deployed. That means that truck is somewhat disabled. You can see he's going right through intersections, not paying attention to traffic lights. A very dangerous situation with a very heavy vehicle.
And then you wonder, too, if this is a stolen vehicle like it's being, called at this point. If you jump into a big truck like that, a big moving van, I mean, it takes some time to figure out how to maneuver a truck like that. Because we're seeing all kinds of erratic movement, really hard for this person to stay in lanes. And my guess is maybe, he doesn't know how to handle a truck like this. It's slow moving, but we're now seeing speeds pick up here. What street are we on now, Mark?
We're still on Woodley Avenue here. We just passed Saticoy Street. Now we'll be coming up on Roscoe Boulevard here. So essentially still one block from Van Nuys Airport over on the east side of it here. So we're northbound on Woodley. And you see, traffic in front of him. He's got a school bus, it looks like, a school bus in front of him. And he's just going to be approaching Roscoe in about a block or so. So let's see kind of what he does here. It looks like he's kind of slowing down, speeding up, going into the opposing lanes of traffic. Very dangerous maneuvers here, especially given the fact that this is a big, heavy truck here now. It looks like that back door basically slid down, but it looks like a cargo of basically some trash bins. Don't know if they're full or not at this point, but now about half a block away from Roscoe, and he just passes that school bus taking that center median there. But again, northbound Woodley, just coming up on the intersection where he does have a red light and he does have cross traffic up ahead. Is he going to go into the intersection? This is he's going to stick his nose out again, and wow, what a dangerous deal here. Okay, northbound on Woodley, and it looks like he wants to go through the intersection here, but maybe thinking about a right turn here along Roscoe. But let's see what he does here. He's got a big rig right there. He's got several vehicles right behind the big rig that he's going to have to contend with. Hopefully he doesn't go too far in and put himself in a situation where he gets T-boned by another vehicle here, by another innocent commuter here, but remains northbound. Gets through the intersection. Took him a little bit of time, but gets through the intersection. Now northbound on Woodley, past Roscoe into the residential area. So now we'll be moving in more towards the North Hills area.
Mark, I don't know if you saw it, but it looked like LAPD tried to deploy another spike strip there. I don't think that one was successful. They did hit it earlier, and it looks to me like the driver has had some control issues with this truck. Now we see he's stopped. A lot of traffic there. Not a good situation for officers to want to subdue a suspect in a situation like this, where you have all of those, as you were saying, innocent bystanders in their vehicles, because that creates an issue. If we've seen these things can end in gunfire. We saw it this morning, a suspect shot dead by police after a pursuit. With these many people around it, it's and there's another school bus. Very dangerous situation.
Oh, boy, you bet it is here. Multiple school buses southbound on Woodley here, and the third one is just now passing them by. That dirt hauler, I don't know what the situation there was, but you saw him essentially nose to nose there, corner to corner with that dirt hauler. But now the suspect is continuing northbound on Woodley, and again, we're just coming up into the North Hills area here. We do further understand, and this was from the police source, that again, this started out as a domestic dispute. This rolled into a stolen vehicle. Now this pursuit, it is believed that the driver, the suspect in this case, may have some weapons, some knives of some sort, knives, multiple. We just don't know at this point, but we understand that knife or knives might be involved here. So, yeah, an exceedingly dangerous situation here where cross traffic and oncoming traffic is being affected.
Continuing, you can see with Sky Map 7, he is on Woodley Avenue, and he is coming upon another truck in front of him. So the speeds are low because, Leslie, as you mentioned, they threw out several spike strips. He's run over spike strips already, but it's as if he's trying to get into another truck, and so now we're losing the signal. We lost it right there. Don't know.
Okay. We see him getting out. At least we saw him get out. He's running, trying to get. He's got a weapon in his hand. Oh!
He's got a weapon, and he is trying, or does he? It could be a walkie-talkie.
Trying to get back in his truck. It looks
now
like
Sky Map off. Switch Sky Map off.
We might end up. This might be another shooting if he. Nope, they did not.
Yeah.
So thankfully for our viewers at home, we're not able to see exactly what's happening. He had something in his hand, whether it was a weapon or some sort of walkie-talkie. He was trying to break out the window. He wanted to get. Remember, we saw him at the dump truck, and he was. We were trying to figure out why he was doing that, but he opened his door as if he was going to get out. This time he did get out and tried to get in to that other large vehicle, and now officers have him down on the ground. Amazing restraint if shots weren't fired, because that was very close proximity to each other, and that person was obviously showing no intent to surrender.
Right, and they're in close quarters here. It appears that 4 of them have surrounded him. He appears to be on the ground. We don't have a visibility of him right now, but another officer opening the truck that he was trying to get into, and we see the person who was in the driver's seat of the other truck motioning, but they are trying right now, about 5 officers trying to restrain him and bring him out of this close area and hopefully have him handcuffed, and hopefully this will be over. But it appears that he was the only one in that Penske rental truck, and you can just catch a glimpse of him right here. It did appear that he had a weapon in his hand or something in his hand and tried to knock out that window.
This began about 7:25 this morning. LAPD responded to a report of a stolen Penske truck, and the pursuit was on the 405 for a short time. It was on Haskell. They did set up a spike strip, and the suspect hit that at Woodley and Sherman Way. And then, of course, that's when we picked it up after the spike strip. So he was driving a little bit more slowly than we've seen, probably because of damage to the tires. But then the very, very tense moments there, certainly for the person in that Thomas truck there. I see Thomas on the roof there. Start your day happy, but that is certainly an interesting start for this person's day at 8:30 when somebody tried to break through the window. I can't really. He's being dragged out. It's not that he's being necessarily combative, but he was extremely dangerous there for a moment to any number of people. Looks like they might have less than lethal force used on him. That's what she's got. She's got a taser in her hand there with the green. So that stays connected to him. Yes. So then if he continues to be non-compliant, they can hit that again and provide another shock to him. But generally speaking, when you're hit with one of those, if you're aware of your faculties, you generally start to comply. It is
Right.
quite the jolt to your system. So now it looks like they used less than lethal force. And again, as we mentioned a moment ago, amazing restraint by the officers, because it certainly looked like he had a weapon in his hand when he hit the window of that truck.
It really did, and you can see how quickly violence can happen when you are the other driver and suddenly somebody's coming around trying to carjack your vehicle. It happened so quickly, and that person was lucky that the window was rolled up and that the suspect could not commandeer his truck.
Well, you see officers trying to identify the person. That was the wallet they were looking through there. It does not appear as if the person is in need of medical attention. It does appear as if he's down, and certainly the windy conditions there. So several officers, LAPD has this person surrounded. Again, it began as a stolen pursuit or stolen truck. The suspect finally stopped the truck at Woodley, south of Parthenia. This is in Van Nuys. So if you're trying to commute through this area, this is Woodley, just south of Parthenia in Van Nuys. This person had tried to get into another truck, which has now been moved. You can see that other truck has been moved. So the Penske truck, which was damaged by the spike strip, he tried to get, it seemed as if he was talking or maybe had pulled in front of that tow truck to keep the tow truck from going anywhere. We kind of wondered why he was in the turn lane. So he had tried to stop that tow truck apparently, but when the tow truck started to move around him, he tried to get out. And we thought maybe he was going to try to get in that tow truck. He did the same thing with that other truck, and we saw him bashing on that window.
Yeah, I thought maybe he was possibly trying to surrender, but he was probably his intent was to get into that tow truck. And they have the taser, as you can see right there. We do have confirmation that they did tase him. And it's unclear that the second truck that was in this shot, was the window up and did he try to burst the window, or did he actually hit the driver in that truck? We're going to re-rack some video to see if we can see that a little better. But right now he is down. He is under arrest. He has handcuffs on, and it looks like the threat has ended with no shots fired, fortunately.
Well, again, as you mentioned, we're trying to get the video queued up to show you exactly what happened just a few moments ago, and now we have it. You see the suspect in custody right there. But these were the moments here when he got out of his vehicle, was somehow he's trying to get back in. This is after he bashed on what I thought was the window. But yeah, that's actually a little bit after what had happened. But if you notice the driver's side door of that second box truck, the suspect had jumped out of the Penske truck, run around, and hit. And as I'm looking at that, it does look as if that window is closed. And I would assume that it probably is. If there's no damage, that's probably the reason they let the truck move along and get on out of the way. But that suspect there for a moment, and then for officers to be stuck between those two vehicles with no escape route of their own, if he had a weapon, that was tight quarters there, and they did use less than lethal. Here you go.
Here you go.
So I
can't
that
tell.
Was still hard to tell. It looked to me like it was hitting the window.
Air 7 HD's extreme vision allowed us to get close and see so tight on that. But you're right, Philip. It did look like he was hitting the window there. Fortunately, that person is okay. So quite a different chase than we had just a few hours ago with a high-speed chase. This one, we caught it at the end, but a different vehicle, a box truck, a stolen Penske truck, and the suspect is in custody.
Let's go back to Good Morning America.
Now that the car is on freeways, CHP would be better suited to follow him. When we first picked this up, it was on surface streets. It was in LAPD's mission division, so it was LAPD who was in pursuit. They backed off, of course, but we still have the LAPD helicopter overhead. And now, there you go, using that emergency lane. And we don't want to see this because if a car is broken down, I mean, this guy could just plow right into them and like right there, he ran out of room. So what's he going to have to do? He's going to have to merge back with the traffic, which it looks like that's what he's going to try to do. Yep, he's going to try to merge back with approaching Roscoe. We're hearing on the scanner that the suspect may have knives accessible to him in the car. It's unclear if they were his or if they belong to the rightful owner of the vehicle, but we are hearing that the reporting person, which is likely the owner of the vehicle, says that there are knives inside of the car. If they are in the rear portion, he's unlikely going to be able to reach those as he's driving, so we'll hope for that as his pursuit continues here for the past 15 minutes or so. He does not like to be in slow traffic, so what he may do is move over to that emergency lane again and take that to get past some of this slower traffic. But again, that could be very dangerous because if there are any cars that are broken down, he hit a vehicle there. Okay, my pilot Derek Bell observed that he did hit a vehicle there. Hopefully there are no injuries to that party, but he did hit a vehicle there as he was trying to maneuver his way around some of this slower traffic. Yeah, we're hearing CHP maybe trying to get behind the vehicle now. Vehicle in the course of that assault. And of course the car is stolen as well. Traffic is slowing down significantly. Moving over to that first lane from the left. We're at Sherman Way. Basically at a complete stop here for him. He's straddling a couple of the lanes there, straddling that first and second lane, trying to make his way over to that second lane. So let's see what he's doing here. From what we've seen, just watching his move southbound on the 405 freeway. Oh, thank you, Derek. My pilot, Derek Bell, is telling me that the traffic will get a lot slower as we continue here southbound and make your way over to the west side. He just cut that driver off, so that guy's not going to be happy. But fortunately, he didn't manage to hit him. So that's if there's any good news here, it's that he doesn't appear to have hit any other vehicles so far. He did, of course, assault a police officer with that vehicle at some point. So we believe he did use the